Hey, so I'm doing a little bit of a vlog because some news just came out yesterday regarding Lumpinee potentially closing as a venue for promoting Muay Thai and just kind of becoming a sports complex where you can like train, but it won't be promoting shows anymore. And this is pretty big news. It's not super surprising. After the lockdown last year, after there was a cluster at a Lumpinee promotion, everything got shut down, and other stadia actually came back and had quite a few shows in the time that Thailand was permitting it, and Lumpinee kind of never did. So it's been almost a full year since Lumpinee's been able to have any kind of promotion. So it's not a huge surprise to see that they're thinking of not continuing that, but they had lots of like bids about who was going to be the next promoter, blah blah blah. So there are a couple of things to keep in mind about this. One is that the bureaucracy in Thailand is actually truly incredible, and they have meetings about upcoming meetings. So while this is being discussed right now, it's definitely not decided yet. So there's no like rush to freak out or resign or any of these things, because it's just being discussed right now. The background a little bit is that Lumpinee and a few other stadia around Thailand are owned and operated by the military. The military is Thai government. It's a constitutional democracy here, which means that there's a monarch, but there's also like a prime minister. The prime minister now is of the military, so it's like a military government here. So they're going through some meetings about reform and things like this, which include potentially not renewing Lumpinee as a stadia where Muay Thai is going to be promoted and conducted. This is incredibly sad for a number of reasons, mostly because Lumpinee as a name is this like grand historic place in Thai history from Muay Thai. Westerners know Lumpinee as where you want to come and you want to fight. And it was kind of a big deal for me personally, and I think for quite a few people, although they didn't really talk about it so much. Thais don't talk about these things as much. When they moved Lumpinee, so the new Lumpinee Stadium now is at a very different location, and it's very like big and glamorous, which is not at all like the original Lumpinee Stadium, which was kind of like falling apart and incredible. I feel very fortunate that I was able to go to the old Lumpinee and see a fight there. See a show there. It was unbelievable. It was truly incredible. And I was pretty disappointed in what the new Lumpinee looked like in comparison, but you know, things modernize and that's how things go. So I'm sad at the prospect of Lumpinee no longer being the venue that it's supposed to be with the name it's supposed to be. It would just be like a sports complex. But here's the thing. The military owns quite a few stadia around the country, and they're actually closing a few of them. One of these is my favorite stadium in all of Thailand, and I've fought there a handful of times. It's called Suranaree, and it's up in Korat. My heart broke when I read about this morning. It's a really, really cool stadium. The things that I was saying about like how I wasn't romanced by the new Lumpinee, it's really just carrying on the name, but the old Lumpinee, like that was falling apart, was absolutely incredible. Suranaree has this quality. It's like an old, kind of like gymnasium kind of thing. It's in Korat. It's owned by the military. They have like a little gym out in the back, and they have these like high bleacher seating that you can sit behind when you're like getting ready for your fight, and you're just seeing the backs of gamblers and people yelling, and the din is just kind of beyond it. The acoustics are incredible. I have very, very, very fond memories of fighting at Suranaree. I don't have memories fighting at Lumpinee because women can't. That was one of my goals, was to fight at Lumpinee. And it's possible that that's not going to happen because it doesn't exist anymore, rather than because things don't change enough. I have feelings about that. But really, my deep why I'm making this vlog, the Sylvie's Got Feelings going on, is because it looks like Suranaree is going to be no longer. And I find that very, very sad. I'll try to find the fights where I fought there and list them or put them in a link below this video so that you can see the stadium. It's very, very cool. So things are changing. Things are changing kind of fast. Again, they have meetings about upcoming meetings, so none of this is like super firm decided yet. But the decision to close Lumpinee is a much bigger one than the decision to close Suranaree. So that one seems maybe pretty set. And I'm just sad about it. So that's my downer vlog for this morning. And appreciate the experiences that you have, because things that are historic and things that are legendary, they're that for a reason. They stay in memory forever, but they don't always stay in practice forever. So, you know, appreciate those things. I'm really, really happy that I got to experience Suranaree in person, that I got to fight there in person. I'm very grateful that I got to go to the old Lumpinee. I'm very grateful that I got to see fights and go backstage with some of our fighters from Pet Drung Drung when I was there at Lumpinee. These are experiences that I think are really important for me personally as a memory. So that's that, and there will be updates eventually, but you know, slowly.